So I just got a seller lead from a fellow Worth Clark agent. All I really know is his name, his address. I know it's in South County somewhere. So I did call him just to touch base, and he was on the other line, so he's going to call me back. So in the meantime, while we're waiting for his phone call, we are going to jump on the computer. I'm going to show you my thought process, how I dig in, and what kind of homework I do before actually sitting down and meeting with the client. So the only information I have on this homeowner is his name. So I come to Maris here. We're going to start in Realist. So we launch that. We want to make sure that we've got the right county. St. Louis, yep, apply, we're good. So as that populates with the search button there, he did tell me it was in South County, which tells me it's probably down around here somewhere. So if we click one, let's start outside in, and what do we know? Ta-da, Paul Voorhees, we got lucky. Run the report. So what I see here is that he bought the house in 2008 for $153,000. 2008 was a bad year. He probably overpaid at $153,000. But it's 1,008 square feet, and it is 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. So I've got my listing questionnaire that I've printed out, but we want to confirm that it really is 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. If that's 2 full baths or if it's 1.5. We need to find out if it's a 2-car garage, if he's made any updates, kitchens, baths, things like that. So at 1,008 square feet, get out your calculator, we go $153,000. So $153,000 divided by 1,008. He paid I'm going to round up. He paid $152 a square foot for this house. He overpaid. Right now, houses that are updated sell for $150 a square foot. But as we go down, the main characteristics I want to look at is we want to see here, okay, it's a 2-car garage. I'm going to make a little side note that it was $152 a square foot, because all this is going to come into play as we go. And I'm just going straight down my listing questionnaire. And I'm trying to get as many questions answered as I can before he calls me back. We want to find the real AVM. This is usually a very good number. It's usually the number you would expect to end up at. So if their house, if I go in there and it's shag carpet and blue walls and yellow bathrooms, I don't want to list at 180. I'm gonna hopefully talk them down from there. But if it's nice, stainless appliances, nice kitchen, I think 180 will be a good number. But I really need to see it in person. And I do ask them a lot of those questions on that listing questionnaire. So I'm going to copy this address, Control C. I'm going to come over here, start a new search. Always start with Zillow. Even though Zillow can be a trash number, they're getting better and better. And honestly, this is the number that most homeowners are going to see. So I'm going to make a little note of that down at the bottom of my page. That would put it at 198 a square foot. So I make a note of that and I move on. Okay, so the next place I'm going to look is Remine. Launch it here. Sometimes Remine is a little bit too has too much variable in it, but let's see what they give us. Search, address, paste. Here it is. All right, Remine is giving us an estimate of $195,000. So I'm going to write that down. So the other valuations are showing a range of, call it 156. I'm going to write this down. 156 all the way up to 234. But we just want to know what public records look like so we know what we're really up against when we go into this meeting with them. Because if they've seen a valuation of $200,000 on Zillow, that's probably what they're expecting. So the next place we're going to go is to Matrix. And we're going to do our own search. So we're going to go search, residential, detail. I'm going to look at everything that's active, coming soon, pending, and closed, residential. Let's go ahead and just do one story. age, I'm going to go 1+. That's the way you get rid of new construction. So we want to go, let's go a half mile out. So you can see now we've got the map search area selected up here. We've got 34 results. Let's go ahead and give ourselves down here for the garage spaces. Let's give ourselves a 2-car garage. All right, we got 11. Let's also limit our square footage. We're going to go 800 to 1200, and that gives us 6. All right, let's see what that 6 looks like. So I see here, average days on market looks good. Price per square foot, anywhere from $145 to $255, also good. Usually what I will do is I will delete the outliers. So we're going to take off, ooh, wait, this one's on the same street. Usually I would take off the low and take off the high. That way you've got everything in the middle. But because this one's on the same street, let's see what this one looks like. It just sold a year ago. Yeah, looks like the same house. And it just sold for $171. Oh man, look at that. It was listed at $160. Oh my gosh, they're gonna die. So let's see what theirs looks like. The roof looks bad, looks old. It doesn't really look like a 2-car garage to me. Let's see what it says down here. Garage info, right there in the middle, 2. All right, take their word for it. Looks small to me. All right, updated, stainless appliances, new backsplash, unfinished basement. Okay, so if we've got a great finished basement, maybe that'll help us. So Bertrand, we're going to keep that one on here. Let's look at the map. So this shows us this is where we're at. Okay, these two are really far away. They're in other subdivisions. So I'm going to come in here. Exclude this shape. There we go. So we go back to our results, and now we've got these 4. Now these 2 are a little bit small. Let's see what this one is that sold for $255 a square foot. Also looks a lot like our house. What? Oh my gosh. I'm not impressed. I don't know about you guys, but I was expecting this thing to be like out of the park. Oh, we're going to leave it on there. I think we've got some good comps here. I like it. So when he calls me back, I've seen what these pictures look like. We're gonna find out what his house looks like. What we're gonna do, we're gonna take these, click the box, get them all. Print to CMA, print to PDF. This is what I would take with me on the listing sales call. You can see here that there's one that's pending, and I will call this agent and find out, hey, what did you guys get? Because it was only on market 4 days. I bet they got 200 for this thing. Listed at 180. It's smaller than ours, so all right, this is making me a little more optimistic. Average price per square foot, 190 a square foot. My gosh, I like it. I'm going to suggest a list price to them of 180 at this point. I believe they're not going to like it. They're going to see this 202. I would expect if we list at 180, we should reach that 200 price point. So not as dismal as I originally had thought. So then the last place I'm going to go, and this is what I would email them before our appointment, so that way they can start having some realization of their own. I'm going to come here to RPR, and RPR is going to give us a really nice report. So we're going to paste their address in here, search. Here it is. Okay, RPR is giving us a little more realistic 184. Create a CMA. And again, this is what I'm going to email to them because it makes a really nice and concise report. I don't print this out and bring it with me. It's too much. So confirm the facts, confirm and close, find the comps. All right, so this map here gives us, like, this is our searchable area. We aren't drawing anything. We're not going out a mile radius. What you see in the map is your searchable area. So we're going to go single family home. An appraiser can only look at closed listings. But for our purposes here, we're going to leave the pending. Within the last 6 months, I think that's going to cut out some of our comps, but that's fine. It's been a very hot market. Let's just leave that at 6 months. Beds, let's just only do 3 baths, 1 to 2. Livable square footage, let's go 800. Let's leave the 1300, see what we find. See, maybe we'll find something else. All right, search. Okay, so our house, if we remember, was built around what, 59, 60. So all right, this one's very similar. The star shows that RPR used this in their comping purposes. So we're going to go 3.2, 1,062 square foot. I like it. Let's keep it. And you see the picture over here. So yep, we're going to keep that one. This one, 3 bedroom, 1 bath, smaller square footage. No, let's not use that one. Look, it was low anyway. This one looks good in pictures. 3.2, $255 a square foot. Holy balls. That's just way too expensive for these houses. What the heck? I hate to put it in there. That's going to skew our numbers. Let's see if we can find something better. Even though it is accurate, it really truly is a comp, but let's bypass this one for a second. Let's do it. All right, we're going to take that one. We'll take this one. Here's one. Same square footage. Oh, that picture's terrible, but 3, 2, let's do it. We're going to take it. All right, that's enough. I mean, 4 is really enough. What do we have? 4. Perfect. All right, update valuation and close. And then you're going to see that our range is 181 to 216. And then we're going to create the report. So a seller's report is what we're going to create. I'm just going to email this to myself because I don't want to lose all this work that I just did. And I don't know his email address. Let's see, run report. And it takes a few minutes and then it'll email me a copy of it. Here we go. So see, it did adjust. I think that's a different number now. Anyway, $200,000 is what it's saying now. I kind of liked the 180 better. So I'm going to email him that. I might shoot myself in the foot a little bit. But again, here's the range and we will pound him and tell him, look, 200,000 is what we expect to end at. That is not a list price. That is what we will expect it to appraise for. That's not where we start our listing. We start our listing at a more reasonable number so that way we aren't having to justify ourselves and beg people to come look at it. We want to create high traffic, a lot of excitement. You want your buyer pool to be as broad as possible. But anyway, the lower we can make this beginning number for the list price, the broader our buyer pool, the more traffic we're going to generate, and that's how we wind up with multiple offers that are going to drive us up to this number. So that's important that we point that out. This is a number that we think it's going to appraise for. This is the number we're hoping to land on when all the offers are in. It's not our starting point. Okay, I've beat that as much as I can. But when I go on my appointment, I'm going to bring a copy of the tax records. I'm going to point out this number right here to him. And I'm also going to bring my CMA. Let me do that math again. At 189 a square foot puts us at 190. So yeah, all numbers are leading back to this, 180, 190. So I'm feeling confident. I'm feeling good when he calls me up now. I wish he would have called so you could have heard our conversation.
Are going to Columbia.
All righty.
We don't have a house.
Okay.
We own the house that we're in, or we bought it in 2008. And we're going to sell the house that we're in. and we're going to find something in Columbia soon.
Gotcha. So are you on any kind of, I mean, it doesn't sound like you're on any kind of a hard deadline, but have you gotten some deadlines for yourself? So some goals of when you want to get the house on the market and get out of there?
Well, my wife is a school teacher. She's going back to school. We would like to be getting the house on the market pretty quick.
Okay. Is it ready for market? Like, is it cleaned up? Have you, gotten things kind of tucked away, ready? Like how close do you think you are for getting it on market?
We've got some work to do.
Okay.
We have too much stuff and too small of a house, so we need to get rid of a lot of crap.
All right. Now, do you plan on moving out of the house before we put it on market, or are we going to be selling it while you guys are still living in it?
I don't know.
So it sounds like you guys want to be in a hurry, but we're not like in critical mode, like we got to get this thing on the market next week. Sounds like you've got a little bit of work to do before we get to that point. Is that kind of an accurate statement?
Yes, you're very accurate.
Okay.
And also, we would like some advice, like from you or from somebody on what we should have for staging if we're still in it.
Yeah, the more you can declutter, the better. People like it to look nice and open and as big as we can make it look. The typical rule of thumb is maybe 3 pieces of furniture per room, but we can talk about the logistics of all of that. And I've got a really nice PDF of a seller's guide that I've put together. I could email you as well. Actually, while I'm thinking about that, let me get your email address from you. So have you made any updates or upgrades since you guys bought it in 08?
Well, the kitchen had been, somebody was getting ready to flip the house. They put cabinets in and all that.
And how do your bathrooms look?
Okay, the upstairs bathroom's okay. It has the original tile from 1959, but it's nice.
Okay. So is it 2 full baths?
It's a full bath, tub and shower upstairs, and just a shower stall downstairs.
Yeah, we call it 2. We'll call it 2 full. And it's 3 bedrooms, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I did a little digging on you after I got your name, and I've come up with your address. Is it 126 Bertrand Drive?
Yes.
All right. See how easy it is for me to stalk you like that? It's kind of scary, huh?
I know. Good thing my ex-wife.
Yeah, no, exactly. You have to hide. So I see you guys got it in 2008 for $153,000. What do you guys owe on it currently?
124, I think.
Okay, and no second.
No second. We refinanced for a lower rate.
Okay, great. All right. How old is the roof? Any idea?
Well, it isn't leaky, but it wasn't new when I got it.
Okay.
So it's probably getting towards the end of its life.
Okay. What about like the furnace, the HVAC system?
That was all pretty new in 08.
Okay. And then is the hot water heater in good shape, or is that older?
It's somewhere in the, I don't know how old it is, but it works.
Okay.
It's a hot water heater.
All right. So that gives me a lot of good information so I can run some comps, because I really want to zone in and make sure we're comparing apples to apples and find some good comparables in the neighborhood, which I've started to kind of dig in. The
basement is half finished.
Okay.
The other half is not finished, and it was done again in the 1970s.
Okay. So are you guys willing to put in a little bit of work to get the thing ready for market, like some paint and things like that?
Yes.
Okay, great. I'll send you some suggestions then on what I like for that, because a little bit of paint and some sprucing up of your curb appeal will really go a long way. And then with you guys having the updated kitchen, that's really going to help too. So yeah, it's a very hot competitive market. So I'm optimistic. I think we'll have no problem getting it sold. It's just a matter of how much are you going to walk away with at the end of the day. So have you been keeping an eye on the market? Do you have any idea what you think the house might be worth? Do you have any expectations?
Well, looking around the neighborhood, and our house has got some of the better options for the houses that were built in that neighborhood.
Uh-huh.
And compared to what's been selling, my wife thinks we ought to get, somewhere around 200.
Mm-hmm. That's kind of what I was thinking we'd probably wind up at as well after seeing what these comps have been doing. So I've got some good strategies that'll get us the most bang for the buck. I'd love to talk to you about that and talk to you about list price, things like that. But yeah, I think at the end of the day, we'll probably walk out of there around that $200,000 price point. From what I'm seeing as well. So yeah, I think you're realistic with that. All right. Well, when would be a good time for us to get together? I mean, I know you're not in emergency status here, but you want me to give you a couple of weeks to get the place cleaned up a little bit, and then I'll come out and see what you got?
I tell you what we'll do is I'll talk to my wife, and I'll come up with a time and we'll set a date. And maybe in a week or two, yes, we will get together, have you over, show you the house. We'll look at your email, look at your suggestions, and we'll get going on getting the things taken care of.
Yeah, very good. All right. Well, I'm ready as quick as you are. I don't want to pressure you into, any kind of timing, but just know whenever you're ready to pull the trigger, I'm ready too. So no delays there. So all right, I'm going to email you as soon as we get off here that seller's guide PDF that I have for you, and I'll send you a couple of intro emails, my website, things like that, so that way you know what I'm all about and introduce myself a little bit further.
I like that house that we looked at, but I don't think that's the fit for us.
Yeah, well, no worries. My biggest suggestion would be when you guys are looking online, whether it's Zillow or HomeSnap or wherever you're looking, just don't hit any buttons, because if you hit, contact the agent or see this house, then all of a sudden you're going to have more and more realtors calling you and harassing. So if you see something you like, just call Ron directly and set something up with him, because yeah, if you start pressing buttons, pretty soon you're gonna have to change your identity to get away from all of us realtors.
Yeah, you stalkers.
I know, we're so scary. So all right, well, I'm gonna send you some information, and if you have any questions, do you have any questions for me so far?
No, none. And we'll look at your email, and my wife will be happy, and
yeah,
we'll get the ball rolling.
Yeah, we'll get it done. So it's been about 2 weeks since I've had my listing appointment at Bertrand, and at the appointment it went really well. I was there forever. Usually a listing appointment should take about an hour. If they've got a lot of questions or it's a big house, maybe an hour and a half, but this one went like 2.5 hours, maybe 3 hours, because it was them, their daughter, and they had a ton of questions, and they just were really talkative and wanted to show me around the house very thoroughly. So the house was nowhere near ready for listing. They had a ton of stuff, a lot of personal items, a lot of cleaning that needed to be done. They had painted themselves, and I hated to be the bearer of bad news, but it really needed to be painted. Just the colors, the quality, just all of it. It did have hardwood floors, which I really liked. Kitchen and baths were outdated. Basement was finished, but very outdated. So I don't like to talk at a listing appointment too much about the negatives, even though it happens. It's just the nature of the beast. You got to kind of put people into a little bit of a reality check, but you don't want to make them too deflated. So as I'm walking through the house, I always make notes. So as I'm walking up to the front door, you immediately start making notes, because you only have that initial first impression once. And so you want to remember how you felt walking up to the house. Was it welcoming? Were the bushes overgrown? Does it need mulch? Does the front door need painting? Are there cobwebs? Does it need to be power washed? Things like that. And those are the things I'm noting as I walk up to the house. Because as you go 2 or 3 times, you don't have that initial shock of, oh, there's a broken number on the mailbox. You know, you really have your best first impression first, obviously. So I make a lot of notes before I even knock on the door. So once I get inside, I'm constantly making notes, and I put little stars by the things that I need to email them about or address later, so that way, because my notes get really thorough. Like as I'm walking through, I'm making a note of outdated carpet, hole in the wall, scuffed staircase here, missing light bulbs. But and I'm also making notes on the positives. So if I get the listing, which I am counting on, banking on, that I've got some good marketing remarks, like was it a gas stove? Is there stainless appliances? Is it nicely lit with lots of natural sunlight? Open floor plan, things like that. I've got a clipboard. I personally have these seller guides that I bring with me that make it wonderful to get through a listing appointment. So you want to do something like that for yourself. Make a presentation, whether it's in PowerPoint or whether it's a folder full of information. I like the printed book that I've created because it gives us something tangible, something I can leave behind if they want to show it to their kids or their financial advisor or whatever. They've got everything we talked about right there in front of them. And some older people, in fact, I've got 2 deals right now. Neither of them have emails or computers. So anyway, so it's good to have the book. I can leave it with them because both of these sellers both need to talk it over with their children. So it's good. I leave that with them instead of sending an email with a PDF or whatever. But however fits best for you. If you'd rather bring your laptop and do a PowerPoint presentation, more power to you. But I would always suggest leaving them with something in print, something tangible to remind them of the numbers, the commission, the things that you've talked about. When I come in, I introduce myself. These days, I always ask, do you prefer me to wear a mask? Are we okay without a mask? Always have a mask handy because you don't know who you're dealing with. Sorry, my phone is attached to my steering wheel. I'm going around a corner. Anyway, so as you go in, you ask them if they can show you around the house first, because before you start talking comps and numbers, you want to know what kind of a house you're dealing with. So if there was not an old MLS listing for you to look at, which I always try to start there, I will look at an old MLS listing to see, what did the house look like before, and I'll ask them, did you make any updates since you bought it, blah, blah, blah. But anyway, that way I kind of know what I'm dealing with. I get over to Bertrand and asked them to show me around the house, and we did. They gave me a nice tour, showed me everything, and immediately I see they are nowhere near ready to move. They've got stuff everywhere. Like we literally, like the basement, could barely walk through. They live there. That's how people live. That's fine. I can see past all that. But what it tells me is, when they called me, they're like, we want to get on the market this weekend. I show up and I'm just like, no way. So anyway, I'm heading over there to do pictures today. So it's going to be interesting to see what repairs they made. I did send them some phone numbers to some of my vendors, so a handyman and a painter. So it'll be real interesting to see what the house looks like when I get over there. And I am going to do my own pictures, which I don't always suggest. In fact, I don't suggest it at all unless you've got like a photography background. Don't try to do it yourself. Hire a professional photographer for $150. So anyway, I'm going to jump off here and head in, and we'll talk on the flip side. These sellers did an amazing job of getting the house ready for market. They really needed top dollar, and they really did listen to every single thing I told them to do. They had some real shabby looking rocks up at the front porch, which they just covered with some nice mulch and some flowers. They even fixed the broken numbers on the mailbox that I suggested. They repainted the whole house, which bless their hearts, I felt so bad because they had just painted it themselves. They hired my painter, painted the whole thing agreeable gray, got rid of all the maroons and the greens. And in that dining room area, they actually removed all this shelving that was permanently attached to the walls where they had their china displayed, and got rid of all of that because it was very invasive and intruded into the room. And the basement even turned out fabulous. They replaced the smoke-stained ceiling tiles and actually had a professional painter come and repaint that. And even though this basement is not some high-end, high-class basement, just the fact that for showings it looked so nice and clean, and it was the best that we could present. We went on market with this little number August of 2021. The market was kind of entering just a little bit of a hiccup because buyers were so disgusted with the market. I think that summer just had everyone so deflated that they had just put their buying on pause. But we needed 195 for this. That 195 was their bottom line to where they could actually make enough money for their down payment on their new house. So we listed at 185. My strategy, as most of you already know, my strategy is go in conservatively to get the most foot traffic. So we were hoping that the market would really take that 185 and multiple offers would drive that price up. We were on market 4 days. We did not get one offer the whole weekend. We went active on a Thursday. My plan is always to end offers on a Sunday and review on Monday. But as of Sunday at like 5 p.m., we had no offers. Thank God I get a call from one straggling, wayward gypsy of a realtor who's like, I know you're already done with offers and I'm really sorry, but will you still let me get in on the mix? Little did he know he was the only offer. So he kind of came in, guns blazing, PTSD. He comes in 15,000 over. We wind up at $200,000 on this listing, and my sellers were ecstatic. They were happy to get, the 200. So all's well that ends well. But, in 2021, it's so rare to only have one offer. But man, oh man, when it's Sunday night at 6 p.m., you're grateful when one comes trickling in if you haven't seen any others. So anyway, that's my story. That's what I do from beginning to end on my showing appointments. And I hope this was helpful.